Hello, this is John, a developer of the REIMS system, and this is just a short tutorial to showcase the new functionality which we've just unwrapped, which we finished developing just recently and finished testing. And this functionality is the auto generation of certificates. And so you'll excuse a bit my voice. I'm having a bit of a cold, so you might excuse me if you're having a bit of trouble hearing my pronouncement. So anyways, so let's just get right to it. So we generate certificates for applications that have already passed through all the previous stages. I mean, all the required stages. That means if they required validate, I mean, they've already been validated, and if they require to be reviewed, that they've also been reviewed and that they were in a meeting. So after the meeting, we know that we we submit the final decision. So the decision is always like, I mean, if it's approved or if it's been provisionally approved, rejected, or no opinion was found. And these applications are then sent to the VC. So the VC endorses the application. So for that, we've already implemented. So after an application has been endorsed by the VC, we can access them. So okay, this page is we know is accessed by the IRB secretaries or the IRB admin. So all of these applications are found in the VC endorsed. It means that these are all the applications that have passed through all the stages and they've been endorsed by the. I mean, the final decision has been endorsed by the VC. So, anyways, let's just see how you can go about generating a new certificate. So it's as simple as you find the application that you want to generate the certificate for, or so in this case, let's say it's this test. So this third application, I'm just going to go click on this view application, and it opens the menu for that particular application. So we see the application details and the initial file downloads, just the same as other pages. You still see what the reviewers said about this application. So whatever they commented on, you will see. And if there are any resubmission packages and if there was any secondary review on it, you'll also see it. So we see that for this particular application, the decision that was given on the meeting was a provisional approval subject to further information or clarification. So it means, I'm assuming, now this is just my assumption, that certificates are generated for applications that have either been approved as is or have been provisionally approved. So if it's different, you might just hit me on the email, and so that will be corrected. So let's say for this particular application, right, uh, you can see that no certificate exists for this application. So it means that you're required to generate a new certificate for this particular application. So it's as simple as going and clicking this button right here, generate a new certificate. So what this does is it opens a pop-up, this particular menu, and you are required to enter or at least edit out a few information. So here you'll have the option of entering the study number, because this is something that you told me, that for every application is assigned a unique study number. So it's right here that you'll have the chance to enter your study number. The PI name, as you can see, is already it's already filled automatically, but still you can go and edit it. Let's say if there was a spelling errors, or maybe there are some PIs who like write their name in full caps, and maybe you don't want that to appear on the certificate like that. So it also gives you a chance to edit out. So the PI's address, I remember talking with Dr. Eric, and I was told that for the PI address, I mean, if they are from MUHAS, what you take is like you take the department or the school in which they are from. So in this case, because this person was a student, we get this. But if it's if it's a PI from the outside, let's say, you also have the option of entering manually their address right here. Or if you do not require to enter an address, then you can leave it as it is. The place, I was told that I should leave it MUHAS as it is. Then comes this place right here, the purpose of study. Now, I think I was given a form. So yeah, now I remember purpose of study. I remember receiving this document from Dr. Eric, which outlined the areas that actually needed to, I mean, the information that was required to be inserted into the certificate. Now, when it came to the purpose of study, which is under study description, it was this that the purpose of this study had to take the design and also the broad objective. And an example was given on how to write. So I had a bit of challenge. I had a bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to best implement this, because if you remember, when we were designing initially the forms which were to be used by PIs to enter the application details, we did not consider this purpose of study. So anyways, what we have done to at least remedy this is, right now, if you go, we'll come back to this page later on, but right now if you go to this page of submitting an application, right? So for any type of study, let's take, for this instance, we take a new study, let's say. So right now, all of the applicants will have the purpose of study here, and it also has an outline on how they can go about writing this purpose of study. And so going on, like you'll have this. So whatever they write here, it will be I mean, it will pop up when you are generating the certificate. But not only that, because we also had concerns that sometimes when they're resubmitting, sometimes the purpose of study, because it involves, as we say, the design and also the broad objective, now this might end up changing. So even when they're doing a resubmission, let's say, so if they go to resubmission, right, they also have the purpose of study again. So they also have, they can, so if for instance the purpose of study changed while they're resubmitting, they also have an option of changing. Right now I don't have a proposal, but if they have a proposal, let's say any proposal, if they choose it, the purpose of study, it comes up here. So they have an option of either leaving it as it is if it hasn't changed, but if it has changed, then they can change it right here. So in that case, you always have a genuine purpose of study. But for now, at the moment, I'm guessing not. I mean, all the applications that we have right now, which have already passed through all the stages right now, because this was not applied before, it means the secretary will have to manually write this purpose of study. So for every application right now that you go and generate a study to, you will find that this field is blank. So you'll have to copy from the application, I mean from the proposal itself, and have to manually, until people start using the new forms, and they start editing, and then they start adding this purpose of study. So yeah, for now we can just enter this manually. Anyways, so that was the purpose of study. And for the approval date, as you can see, it automatically takes the current date. So today is the 28th of May. So you get the 28th of May, and it automatically also adds 1 year to this, because so that the certificates are only valid for a period of 1 year. But then again, you also have the option of changing it. So let's say if you wanted to backdate maybe an application, so you can still go and change this. So anyways, I'm just going to leave this as it is. So if I click generate, it will tell me that I have to obviously input the study number. So I'm just going to pop up a random study number, and then let's generate this. So it will take a while to generate. So afterwards, it will tell you that the certificate was generated successfully. And if you come down here right now, you will see that a certificate exists for this application, and you have the option of previewing a certificate. So if you preview a certificate, you can open it. It will take a while. So there it is. So as you can see, our generated certificate, as you can see, it has our study number, the name of the PI, the address and the place, but also the date, and also the title of the study. So whatever the title of the study is, you will find it here. You also have the approval date, the expiration date, and where they can find this certificate. So let's say there was an issue, and maybe there's a problem here. Maybe it was supposed to be 4 and not 5. So you have the option of going back again and generating a new certificate. So this time you can just input maybe 4 and generating again. So it means you can generate over and over until you're satisfied with the final certificate. So if right now I come and preview this certificate, you will find that we have this. So, and I don't know if there's anything else that needs changing, or you may also just hit me up on it. For instance, one thing that I wasn't entirely sure was this reference number. I just left it as it is, but if it always changes based on the certificate, you can also tell me, so that I can add it as a field when a person is generating a certificate, that they can also input, let's say, this reference number of the letter. So after you're okay with the certificate which you've generated, so you can finally just send not only the decision, but also it sends the certificate. So if I go send final decision to the PI, as usual, it will pop up a warning that this action is not reversible. So are you sure of this decision? If you are okay with it, then it will take a while, and it will send. So the decision has been sent successfully to the PI. And in case of the email that the PI will receive, as usual, uh, let's wait for it. So anyway, it will be something of this nature: application provisionally approved. So this is if the application was provisionally approved. So it will tell the applicant, that the title, so it was this, has been provisionally approved. To further information or clarification, please work on the comments that were raised by our reviewers. I mean, if there's also any issues with the wording on how this was phrases or on how this was phrased, you can also just hit me up and see how we can change the wording of the email. So as you can see, an attachment is also sent. It means the certificate is also sent. So the PI has an option to download the certificate and just be with it. So it means you will have a copy of the certificate, and the PI will also have the copy of the certificate. And what if in another case, let's see another application, let's see this first one, in a case in which, let's say, the decision given was that it was rejected. So let's say in this case, this was rejected. So it means for this, you don't have to generate a certificate for this. So all you have to do is send the final decision to the PI. So you don't generate anything, and you just go send decision to the PI. So you send that. So it will send an email to the PI, just telling them that there was an issue with their application, and that it has been rejected. Let's see if the email will pop up right now. So the email will look something like this: that the application was declined. So as usual, to start by dear applicant, your application with the title, and to give her the title of the application is sadly being rejected after being discussed in the meeting. And you just please reconsider the issues that were raised by our reviewers. Again, if there is any suggestions on how to properly word this email, or if it's all right as it is, we can just leave it as that. So I'm guessing that's pretty much everything. But I don't know. One question that I can ask is because I wasn't in, we weren't entirely sure on how to implement it, because there are actually four decisions that can be given in the meeting, right? The first is approved as is and provisionally approved, in which case we've put that, the certificate can be generated and being sent to the PI, and also we've got rejection. But we have one meeting decision that we weren't entirely sure on how to handle, which is like the no opinion, and there's like no opinion, expert advice needed. So if we can also get on how we can properly handle that, it will be awesome. So anyway, thank you for listening, and if you got any issue, as usual, just check us, and we'll just promptly see how we can solve it. So thank you, and have a good day.